Please be seated. What brings you to church today? My first memories of church are associated with my grandmother. When I was a child, I loved going to church with her. I would sit by her side and eagerly watch and listen to everything that was going on. When she spent extended time at our home, I would be in awe just watching her reading her Bible and getting down on her knees to pray. This was a daily practice for her. Church and faith were really important. She was the most faith-filled person I knew. She inspired my faith. As you probably can tell, I admired my grandmother. I wanted so much to be like her. I attributed her way of being and living to her faith and wanted to mirror that faith. As a young child, I may have thought that having faith meant she had no fears. It didn't take long for me to learn that she had her fears, and it was only her faith that helped her walk through those fears. In the gospel passage we just heard from Luke today, Jesus responds to his disciples' request to increase our faith with the words, if you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you. Jesus seems to make an exaggerated and unlikely promise. He suggests that faith as small as the smallest of seeds, a mustard seed, is enough. Even the tiniest and infinitesimal grain of faith is enough when we are open and reliant upon God to work through us. Timothy, we read in our epistle today, was brought to the faith by his grandmother and mother. Many of us have been inspired by the faith of our grandmothers. Who are the people that you can recall who inspired you or who inspire you today? Paul encourages Timothy to renew his faith with these words, for God has not given us the spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. All the translations of this passage say, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. There are some differences between cowardice and fear. Fear means worrying about perceived danger of future harm. Cowardice is when an excess of fear prevents a person from facing danger or taking risks. Both words explain the way a lot of people are feeling these days. We live in a time of unknowing, of uncertainty, of terror and anxiety in our country and in the world. I know that I am fearful, and I can only guess that others are too. What brings you to church today? Are there any feelings of uncertainty, of fear of taking risks maybe, The words of Paul are meant to give us reassurance, encouragement, consolation, and hope. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. Paul was Timothy's teacher and spiritual mentor. Timothy was Paul's disciple and follower. When distance separates the two of them, Paul stays in touch by writing to Timothy, maintaining their relationship in this way. Paul starts his letter by addressing Timothy as his beloved child. He reminds Timothy of the faith that has been passed on to him through his mother and his grandmother. He encourages Timothy to renew his faith, to rekindle the gift of God. Paul, by his fervent words and prayers, builds up Timothy's confidence to minister with his community. Paul reminds him, you are not alone. You have not received the spirit of fear, but rather the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. Some may think it odd to juxtapose love with power and self-discipline, but love is power, the greatest power in all creation. Self-discipline and self-control, empowered by love, can give our lives purpose and meaning. What brings you to church today? Is a part of you searching for faith and love, for purpose and meaning? Can we offer each other encouragement about these things today? I'm sure many of you are familiar with the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. In a similar way, I think that it takes a village to make us, the wounded souls, whole. When we gather here on Sundays, we read and hear the scriptures. We listen to music from the choir. We sing and pray and break bread together. We share fellowship. We learn more about God. In giving and receiving companionship, we get a bit closer to believing that our mustard seed of faith is enough to live the life we are called to live. We can dare to believe that God cares about what is happening in the world and is present with us. Here at All Saints, we have so many ways to support, encourage, and empower one another, and share who we are and what we have. We bring groceries for the food pantry and Be Safe families. We sing in the choir. We serve on the altar guild, welcome committee, the vestry. We minister with children and youth. We participate in book groups, in contemplative prayer groups, in Daughters of the King, and so much more. Last month, a few of our members joined hundreds of others across the diocese, including our bishop, to stand in solidarity with a migrant person facing ICE in the courthouse. A couple of others plan to participate in the sacred journey to Deer Isle next week. So many ways our faith is in action. Sometimes I get so overwhelmed with what is happening around me. I feel I'm not doing enough to help. In our Bible study group, not doing enough seems to be a common concern. And in a spirit of love, we encourage and support one another, knowing that we are all acting on our faith and we are doing what we can. In community, we give each other the strength to be bold, to meet the moment, and take risks. Theologian Paul Tillich writes, "Faith means being grasped by a power that is greater than we are, a power that shakes us and turns us and transforms us and heals us. Surrender to this power is faith." In those times when letting go of control seems challenging, try to remember your mustard seed of faith, passed down to you from someone who wants you to face life with confidence. Maybe it wasn't given to you by your grandmother, but it can still come directly to you from Jesus himself. I hope that's part of what brings us to church today, to be reminded that whatever amount of faith we have is enough to do the tasks God has set before us, to be reassured that God has given us everything we need to face the present moment in spite of fear and uncertainty, to be strengthened by a gathering of people all facing the same concerns and working through them as a community. In a few minutes, as people gather at the altar, shoulder to shoulder, hands outstretched to receive communion, may we also boldly step beyond our fears and affirm that we all have been given Christ's Spirit of power and of love and the promise of a sound, focused, untroubled mind.